All right. Hey, Tammy.
Yes,
Tammy,
yes, yes.
we're back. We're back. We're back. Super excited. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the old Liberty Warrior Nation, LWN. This account has been taken down 3 years ago. I got an email early this morning. Bubba, I remember seeing him. Good to see you. So I got an email this morning that said, hey, guess what? We made a mistake. We're sorry for the inconveniences that we may have caused you for the last 3 years. You didn't do anything against our community standards, and we're going to give you not one, not two, but three of your channels back this morning. I got that email, and I reached out to Tammy, and I said, we got to do a show tonight. This is crazy. We're back. We're better than ever, and I'm excited for this tonight, Tammy.
I'm so excited. It just seems like the title says, it's the past coming to the present, and it's so very cool. And I'm
Look
saying
at all the
that,
names in chat right now, Tammy.
that
It's
you
blowing
recognize.
up. It's
It's
blowing up.
wonderful.
People are getting notifications right now. We're seeing people that we have not seen in a long time, and it's good to see you. Whether you like us, you love us, you hate us, I really don't care. I'm just glad that you're here. Do us a huge favor. While we've got all these people in here tonight, there are still roughly about 1,000 people searching for us. So if you could hit that like button real quick, hit the like button, smash it, and then more importantly, share us out. If you can share us out anywhere on any of your social medias, there would be a lot of people looking for us right now. So, God, man, there are some names in here I have not seen in such a long time. It is good to see each and every one of you. We've got a lot to cover tonight. We're not just live on YouTube. We're on live on YouTube we're on live on Rumble. We're live on the X
I'm
and
think,
on Facebook.
I'm
Facebook.
think, I'm wondering about Facebook because I don't see it up in the studio, and it said that it was on, but I don't see it when I look it up.
Yeah.
So we might be having issues with Facebook. So
Well,
we'll
let me
have to
check it
see.
out real quick.
Yeah. And also we have a very special guest. Well, actually, he's like part of the tripod here in the back there that we have to pull on stage in a little bit here too as well. But yeah, I don't know if Facebook is on. Doesn't look like it connected to me. But we do have two YouTube channels up. We have the LWN Network, and then we've got Liberty Warrior 2, which was our biggest channel from back in the day after Liberty Warrior Nation got wiped out. So it really just is great to be back on all these platforms. And I think that it is really crazy that after 3 years, they say, thank you for your patience. You
Yeah.
didn't do anything wrong. Welcome back to YouTube and your original channels. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Yes, 3 year long inconvenience.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
I don't see us on Facebook right now. But while we have all these people in here tonight, if I could get one of the moderators or a couple of you moderators to drop the link to our Facebook page, we really need to grow that Facebook page. We got I got hijacked and somebody stole both my personal and LWN Facebook page. So we're trying to rebuild the Facebook page. So some of you that haven't seen us in a long time, if you wonder where we've been, a lot of times we've been on Facebook, and Tammy's operating Facebook for us right now. She puts out a lot of information on Facebook. So if you guys want to always be in the know with the information that she's putting out, strongly encourage you to run over to Facebook and subscribe to us over there, because again, we had over 15,000 subscribers on Facebook and then got hijacked. Just like this channel here, we had over 20,000 subscribers on this one, and they took us down. So we're back. We're back. We're excited. It's going to be a wonderful night.
Well, it really is. And like I said, in case you didn't hear me because you were looking at something, there's a special guest that we invited with a special name backstage, waiting to come on. And that person said, yes, it's me. So I don't want to divulge who it is.
All right,
But
well,
anyhow,
let's bring him in. Let's bring him in.
okay.
I know I got the producer running around in here, and so
You've got a lot of
I
people.
give him a chance to bring him in. If not, I'll grab the mouse and we'll bring him in.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So it has been a long time, but summer's ending, and if in case you viewers haven't noticed, LOL, I'm kidding, tongue in cheek. There's been a lot going on, so much so that even if we were on every day, all day, it we couldn't keep up with it all. So we decided that because we got everything back, because fall's starting, our personal lives are slowing down a bit per se, to be able to come on and have YouTube back. And you guys, the date today, the 17th, is pretty funny if you ask me as well.
it comes back on October the 17th. And
Yeah.
Tammy, do you know what got me taken off of YouTube? All these
What?
big channels. Do you remember
What?
the series that I did that actually got me taken down?
Mm-mm.
It was called Burn It Down.
Oh, oh,
I
okay.
did like an 8 or 9 part series, Burn It Down, and we just let the lead fly. We used whatever words that we wanted to use because we weren't worried about being censored anymore. And I told them, hey, if they're going to take us down, let's go for it. Let's, we used some of those words that we had to talk and code for years, and that's what got us taken down. And not ashamed of it at all. We gave her a hell of a good run, and here we are. We're back.
So we got to welcome the River Flow Starts. That's a new name, but I wonder if it's somebody from the past or if it's a new person.
Somebody from the future. How are you doing this evening? The river flow starts.
Hey, Beardtopolis.
Topless.
I love that. I love that.
Here we go. This is going to be
You're,
one of those nights.
you're about 3 hairs from being a member of ZZ Top.
That's true. And
Oh,
remember, he likes the guitar too. Oh,
check this out. I got my tattoo finished, Jeff. I got my tattoo finished when my daughter was here a couple weeks ago, and I finally got the last of the stripes put on there, and she's done. I'm ready for the next one.
Well played.
hey, it says it's the top bunk hunk, Mark said. Yes,
It's
it is the top
it's
bunk
the
hunk.
top bunk hunk.
It is Jeff, Patricia. Yeah. He just likes to change his name. He's
Hey,
incognito.
so make sure you make a printout copy of that email from YouTube,
Okay.
because I have a feeling there's going to be some life or some lawsuits that are going to be coming down from the FCC.
Well,
That's
I always said if there's ever a lawsuit, I'm jumping on board because these guys have cost me a lot of money, a lot of subscribers, a lot of people lost us over the years because we kept getting taken down, and we're back. So we also have the other 2 channels. Just so you guys know, we have Liberty Warrior Nation 1 and Liberty Warrior Nation. You're going to see some changes to that stuff, some name change, some new graphics and stuff like that. So just so you guys know, this is day 1 of us being back. I got the email this morning, so we're here. We're not going anywhere, and I'm trying to find Rumble because I wanted to see how many people are on Rumble. So I found
Go
Rumble.
ahead. And I was going to add to the lawsuit part that Jeff started. I got a notification because I filed claims for the lawsuit for my Facebook page, and they said if you have to do certain things, and then you can collect the money, and it can be like deposited into your bank, or it can be on a charge card if you want. But I wasn't sure that it was legit, so I haven't looked into it yet. Because Kathy H just said in chat, I'm waiting for that Facebook lawsuit. So I wonder if mine's a scam or not. I'm going to have to check into that.
Darcy D. Man, I haven't seen her for a long time either. And H. Anna. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
her. Mike, is it Fortner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while. Like so many names in here that we haven't seen for a long time. Like I said, please do us a favor. Couple of them. Hit that like button. Smash the like button. Like we haven't had those massive likes. And I was reading the analysis this morning on the page. We used to get 3.5 million, 4 million, 5 million interactions with people on this channel, and when they took us down, we lost all that. Over 20,000 subscribers, tens of thousands of views. So if you guys can please hit that like button tonight and share us out, and if you can grab the link to our Facebook page and go over there and help us build that Facebook page up, That's another great place for us that we've been since we got taken down. So if you haven't been able to find us, how do you subscribe? It should be, there should be a subscribe button here somewhere. And I haven't been on here for a long time, but hit those notifications too.
And Clay B's asking in chat, how long has it been? Because he said thought he was seeing things when this just popped up in his
3
feed.
years.
3
Been
years.
3 years. 3 years since we've been taken down.
Yes, that is a long time. That is more than a blip, that's for sure.
Yeah, and look at those numbers climb. It's crazy how many people have been. Well, we've tried to stay in it, and we've come back and we've come back and we've come back and we've made other channels, and it's just an uphill climb. Jeff's been in here with us and he's been helping us, and it's just been an uphill battle. But let's move on. I'm gonna move on because I know Jeff's got some things that he wants to share. Tammy, I know that you've got things that you want to share, and of course I always like to chime in. So let's start off with our guest here, Jeff. The river flow starts. Now, Jeff, I just went back and started watching my very first videos from March of 2021, and it's actually hilarious. Jeff B came on the show. I haven't got to that part yet, but Jeff B come on the show in April of 2021. So Jeff's been with us for a long time, and I remember me and Jeff Riddle going, who is this guy? And it was wild, and it's been a wild ride ever since. But Jeff, you told us a long time ago, this is where I want to start tonight. You told us a long time ago it was going to be drip, 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 garden hose, fire hose. Your name tonight is River Flow Starts. So please elaborate on the name that you chose for tonight.
Well, did you see the picture I sent you
No.
from Mar-a-Lago?
Oh yeah, I did see that picture. Yes.
Okay. So I asked those three individuals if they got to ride on Air Force One. And they said, no, we got to ride on our dad's plane. And I said, oh, your dad has a plane now. And he's like, well, yeah, because he's hanging out with Cheeto all the time. That's what they call Trump, Cheeto.
Cheeto. Is that his name? Is that his just nickname, or is that his like name?
No, they're referring to Trump. They call him Cheeto because he's orange.
That's right, Orange Man Bad. Camo Carl. Have not seen Camo Carl in a long time. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah. So there, from my understanding, is there's a specific reason why they moved Trump to Florida this weekend. One, no visibility. Two, no White House logs. And three, there's going to be some very important people coming into Mar-a-Lago this weekend.
Interesting.
Can you share any more than that?
I think Trump just signed the commissions of 250 new either line officers or flag officers. So that means from the Navy side of the house, if they fired, let's say, 50 admirals or lieutenant commanders, captains, so they have to fill those billets. And there is a certain number of billets that they can fill per requisite, per boopers. So that means they fired a bunch of people at this meeting that happened with Hegseth.
Yeah, I remember that meeting.
Not just cutting the fat, but getting rid of DEI stuff, getting rid of anybody who's not loyal, right?
Right. And I believe there was a specific questions asked to every individual privately when they were read on to what the meeting was actually about, if they are on board, and if anybody had any hesitation, they were asked for their commission.
Out of here.
You're gone. Correct.
Hit the road, Jack.
I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I've noticed Trump, he's been using much stronger language. He's much more confident, almost like, you know what, mess around and find out, except it's the F word. It's not a joke anymore or just a meme. He's dead serious. And, even when Zelensky came to the White House today, he was like, serious with him. He wasn't like, "Hey buddy, how's it going?" He's like, "Let's go. We got business to do. I got to get out of here." Almost like, "I'm done playing on this rodeo. I want, you either are in or you're out." And with the trip to Israel and all that, like that is so much business now that he's taken care of, and it's like you're either in and America's first and you're going to work with me, or you're
Or
out.
you're
I'm
out.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's ask Jeff. Ask Jeff this question right here from Clay, Clay B. I wonder if Jeff knows if the no Kings, if there's going to be any cause, any trouble this weekend, and everybody's saying, and there's a lot of people that are involved in this, and Hillary Clinton, I think, Tammy, you reported on this just a few days ago, but Hillary Clinton is also part of the No Kings. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, there you've had Pritzker and some of the council members in Chicago. You've had people in LA City Council blowing the dog whistle. They they want Trump to pull the trigger before anything happens. And I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's already done it. We just don't know it. Uh, just like it when you guys were saying Trump is like no nonsense. Today in the cabinet, or not the cabinet meeting, the meeting with Zelensky, I mean, he just straight out dropped the F bomb when when he was talking about Venezuela. He's like,
Yep.
Don't do it. And yes, Venezuela. Yeah, there's the drug issue, but there's another reason why we're right now have covert operations going on in Venezuela. And it's that little machine that begins with a D, because
It
that's
under
where it originated.
And under the ruse of they're also taking out the drug dealers and trying to take care of that, the cartel there. But they're doing that as well as what, like you said, that too, the D word. And people
Right.
I know exactly what you're talking
Hey,
about.
I want to say hi to Barbara Wilt. I have not seen her in a while either. Welcome back, Barbara Wilt. And we're not going anywhere. You're going to see a whole lot more of us. This whole No Kings thing, it's insane because the one of the funniest memes that I've seen this week with this whole No Kings thing is it says, if he was actually king, you wouldn't have free speech.
Yeah, right?
You wouldn't be having a No Kings protest if he was actually a king, you jackhole.
Yeah,
Well-
and remember they also said they were going to leave
Nutmeg.
Congress,
Hello,
shut down everything.
Nutmeg.
Yep,
God,
they were
there's
going to
so many
keep everything.
people.
There were going to be everything was going to stay shut down till this protest was over, and they intentionally did that. The Democrats did that. They wouldn't negotiate nothing. They want, like Jeff said, they want Trump to pull the trigger prematurely, and
Oh
he's
my
not
God.
falling for it.
Cha-Cha's here. Hello, Cha-Cha. Haven't seen you for
Oh,
a long
wow.
time either. And Pamela, welcome
Yeah.
back. Welcome back.
Very nice. Nutmeg too.
Yeah, I saw
Did you say that? Okay, yeah. Good.
Debbie's back. Like, man, there's so many people. Patty J, hello. Sorry, Tammy.
Cool.
I'm like,
No, that's-
I'm looking
he's
at
like a-
chat. I'm looking at chat, and there is so many wonderful people in chat tonight, and it has been 3 years coming for this.
Yeah, it has. He's like a kid in the
Darcy
candy
D,
store.
hello.
He got his favorite toy back, his original channel.
Pink Flamingo, Pink Flamingo's back. I'm sorry, Becky Justice, hello. Zoe Bonnie, hello. Like,
Yeah.
holy cow! And the number keeps going up.
That's
up,
good. That means that the notifications are going out. So that's
Well, that's
good.
what they said. They go, I thought I was crazy. I got a Texas Patriot girl. I thought I was crazy because I got a notification for this channel and everybody thought it was gone. I thought it was gone. So for those of you who just joined us, I got an email early this morning that said, the restriction has been lifted on your channel. We have found that you have not violated any community standards, and we apologize for any inconvenience, even if it's been 3 frickin' years.
So crazy. It is so crazy. Oh my gosh. And we didn't think this day was ever come. We
I
gave
thought
up.
it was gone. I wrote
everything was
I wrote
done.
it off. We moved on, and as soon as I got the email, I called Tammy. I was at work. I called Tammy. I said, "We got to get a hold of Jeff, and we got to do a show tonight because this is crazy. We're back in business, and 20,000 subscribers. That's nothing to shake a stick at. That's like we built this from the ground up." And I want to mention somebody else real quick. I want to mention Shane Phelps. So I went all the way back to the beginning today since this channel came back. So before I could get this channel back, Patty F, welcome back. You couldn't watch the videos. It was completely blocked. So I went back to the very beginning. I went back to my beginning. Tammy likes to call it the man in the laptop. I went back to that. The first person that ever called in live to the live show, I told Tammy, I thought it was Scad Warrior. But watching all the old videos, and if you guys ever want to go back and watch what I look like as a baby face without this big ZZ Top beard, you should go back and watch some of the old videos. They're hilarious. They're fun to watch. But yeah, my dad was the first one that ever called in the show. Now Jeff Riddle came on with me, but he was my guest. But the very first call in who had the courage to call in was my own father. And that was a little bit emotional for me today. And and we got the call in. We got the call in show now. Like we could do the call in show, and we're having a hard time with people not calling in and not and that's okay. We'll get back to it. Awaken Trillium, welcome back. Good to see you as well. It's been a long time. Kathleen Christensen, I'm sorry. I have to say hello to everybody because it's been a long time.
Okay.
And Captain Finger was a huge part of Liberty Warrior Nation that became LWN, and I had some of the best conversations with Shane. And last month, September was 2 years since we've lost Shane. And I still think about him every day. Tammy and I think, and we talk about him all the time. We talk about his contribution to LWN and what he meant to me personally as one of my closest friends. And I haven't had any more close friends like that until Joel. And so, this is also for Shane tonight because he helped build this channel, and he was here from very early and helped me along and just was always there for support. And him and I did a lot of this shit together. And then Tammy came on board, and Jeff was already here, and a lot of people along the time has just been great. And we're back, and we're gonna keep doing this thing. I'm not giving up the ghost yet. Like there's still a lot to do. Tammy and I talk often, and there's just so much information. Jeff, we could be 24/7 and not keep up with what you say. The river flows.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and this is just the Bolton indictment alone is going to blow people's mind.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about that for a
Yeah.
minute. Let's talk about the Bolton indictment.
So Bolton is going to lead to Hillary Clinton. Okay, and this is how I read through the indictment, and there are a couple key words that are used in the indictment on security clearance classification documents, and one of them is called top secret SCI, which is sensitive compartmented information, followed by no foreign. So NOFORN, which means foreign nationals. So in some security groups, you have multinations. They're called joint operation centers. And if a particular document is tagged with no foreign, even though other countries may be cleared for it, they're still not allowed to see it. Well, some of the documents that he emailed, which blows my mind, through AOL.
Oh,
Oh, that's old. That's the
Right.
first one. That's the first email address is AOL. There are people out there that still have AOL.
Right. He sent some classified documents to a foreign nation power. Now, you have to remember what John Bolton used to do for the United Nations. He was nuclear. Okay.
mhm.
Uranium One deal was with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing, but no one can confirm it because nobody will actually say it, which they shouldn't, is he was involved in the Uranium One deal and giving Iran some nuclear secrets
Yeah.
on how to
Jeff,
do
Jeff,
certain things.
some of the 18 counts is espionage. They got him on
Correct.
espionage.
Well, that's
and
the
Trump, remember, he just reinstated the death penalty for treason.
by hanging.
Yeah, just saying.
Going old school, taking care of
Old
business.
school.
So
They've been warned.
yeah, now there are two other co-conspirators that have been listed in the indictment. So this is where you start getting into when the original reporting come out that there was over 100,000 sealed indictments, right? So
Mhm.
now we're starting to see. I love that name. We are starting
do
to
too.
see. uh, we're starting to see how these indictments could father into 10, 20, 30 people. And these two people, I believe, are either his wife and daughter or aides that were helping move documents. So he's screwed. And you know, I had this conversation on another show, and I don't think the people on the panel got it with Jim Comey.
Yeah.
I, I I wasn't really looking all that much, but was there ever a perp walk done for Jim Comey?
No,
No.
not yet.
And
Okay, and there was no visual tape of him coming in or out of the courtroom, correct?
Correct.
correct.
I don't
That
know if
I've
yeah, I don't know if that actually happened that day
Hmm.
so
because
Well,
they
let me respond to Camel Carl real quick. This is not AI or
CGI.
CGI. This is a real beard right here.
It's
Camel
just
Carl.
real beard. He's proud of his beard. Now don't mess with his beard, people. But I had a theory on this, Jeff B, and maybe it'll tie into what you think if it didn't happen, or maybe are they doing this on purpose so they're not giving the Dems any chance to glorify and say, look at what they're doing? They're just making a scene and using this to make Dems look bad and stuff like that. Do you think that they are purposely keeping them behind the scenes so they're not giving the Dems any ammunition
well,
against?
yeah, that very well could be, and maybe the Marshall Protective Services, the Secret Service, or DOJ is saying we're going to take the high road on this. Now, what's being lost in the shuffle with this whole John Bolton? They seized all of his assets.
Oh,
They took his houses. It's in the indictment.
oh,
His ha-
wow.
his houses
Well,
and
like Kathy says, Jack Smith is cooked. I'd
oh
say
Jack
Bolton is cooked.
Jack Smith's beyond done. Lisa Page, Struck,
Oh, yeah.
Tuberville, they're all done. I mean, this is this is going to lead to the big fish, which is the big O.
And is
Uh,
that going to be the arrest that shocks the world? Because that's what I always said. I believe it's going to be Obama. He's the big fish.
Yeah, it very well could be. Now, they started to tear down his library in Chicago.
Love
Mhm.
it. Tear it to the ground.
Well,
It-
you know, so why are you tearing down this big elaborate library that, uh, yeah,
It
yeah,
was ugly as sin. It looked like Stonehenge from back in the day. The
yeah,
shape of it and everything.
and you build it by 5 or 6 blocks from Cabrini Green. And here's the other weird thing that in all of this news media sensationalism, people have forgot that last Friday Hillary Clinton was supposed to appear in Congress.
Yeah. So what was about that, Jeff? What's going on about that? Because
So
when Bannon didn't show up, he
they arrested
got
him.
sent to jail.
Correct. And on another show, I had told people, I said, I am 99.9% she's not going to show up. You know, and people were like, oh, is it because she's dead? No, maybe. She could be. But once they shut the government down, I think this is all intertwined.
Ah,
They shut the government down. That way they can kind of have an excuse. And now the story is coming out that her attorneys are trying to negotiate better terms for her to appear. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but if you receive a federal indictment and you're to appear in front of a judge, they normally don't negotiate.
Yeah.
You're going to appear. And if I was Steve Bannon, I and Peter Navarro, I'd be going ballistic.
oh yeah.
Oh, he's
They are.
mentioned it a few times.
Yep,
Right.
he's like, "Yep, get moving on this." You know, what I love about Bannon is he just says it like it is. He's like, "Listen, the clock is ticking, tick, tick, tick. We only got so much time." And he even said, "I love Trump, but he's got to get moving." You know, it's nice they're taking the illegals and the scary people out of the country, the bad people off the streets with ICE and all that. But we need to go even further and do more, and that's why they wanted those is it extra attorneys, what are they, the technical name, that there needs
The
to be
JAG.
special, there you go, yeah, this in special, the special counsel or the special whatever that's called, of people that go after certain contents of things, because the FBI is in the DOJ and all that's all overwhelmed, because Cash keeps saying we've got 125 of this and 175 of this, that they're overwhelmed. So there's special counsels that they can develop, and Bannon's like, get on it, get on it, get on it. So I love that about him, because we don't have time.
I'd like to ask the chat, do you guys find it strange that we got this channel back on October the 17th? I just, it's mind blowing that we got it back on October the 17th. For those of you who just showed up, great to see you back. If you guys can do us a huge favor, smash that like button. Let's get the algorithm up so big that more and more people can find us, and that's how we're going to do it. Is if you guys continuously hit that, smash that like button, and if you can share us out on any of the platforms, or send us out to your friends, family that have been looking for us, share us out. And also, one last thing, real quick, Facebook. We're trying to build the Facebook page because it got robbed from us. So when the moderators drop the link there in chat, if you can hop over there real quick and follow us on Facebook, because Tammy is constantly posting things all day long on Facebook. She's always in the news. So if you want to be updated on that stuff, hit us over there on Facebook.
Very good. So yeah, the special counsels and that, because Jeff, I know that now that we have Bolton and Comey indicted, Hillary was supposed to show up, postponed it, and she's trying to negotiate or whatever. But the thing is, you can't waste time. It's not like these people haven't had a whole laundry list of what they've done wrong. We're not accusing or being vengeful like the left is saying, some of the left, anyhow. The laundry list is ridiculous on each and every person. So we're just ready to go. And I think that there's nothing wrong. The egos have to step out of the way. I know that Pam Bondi, is trying to prove herself, being new, being in there. People aren't thrilled with her for many reasons. Kash Patel, he's being all like direct, we're doing this and that, but people don't have confidence in them. So having special counsels and having other people to kind of move this along seems like that would be a good idea for Trump to have people do.
Let me ask Jeff this question. Jeff, Donald Trump brokered a deal that's historic, right? He got Hamas and he got Israel to sign a peace agreement. They're working on other agreements there in the Middle East. He's also going to, also try to broker Zelensky and Putin. Can you talk a little bit on what you think is going to happen in the Middle East? Do you think that there's going to continue to be peace between Israel and Hamas? Because Tammy's been putting stuff out in the last couple of days. Hamas is still killing people. I don't think they're ever going to stop, honestly. And then Trump made a statement, I think it was yesterday, correct me if I'm wrong, Tammy, but he said that you either stop or we're coming in and we're going to end you. And can you talk on that? But can you also talk about Putin and Zelensky?
Yeah. So, when the Israelis released some of the Palestinians, Hamas executed them.
The Palestinians?
Yes, they executed.
Why? Isn't that their own people?
Well, if you're worried about people being double agents, yeah. Here's a, and I think it was Mimi that brought it up. It's very, very important on what Trump said, because Mimi asked if Barack is in the UK. And right before Trump left for Israel, Trump made a very directed statement to Obama. Do not interfere in this peace negotiation, or we'll have you looked at for a violation of the Hatch Act. Now, the reason I find that so very interesting, because I was telling people that when Trump was down in Mar-a-Lago as a private citizen, he had Viktor Orban, the president of Hungary, over. He had the Speaker of the House at Mar-a-Lago down numerous times. Why didn't the Democratic-led Congress file Hatch Act violations on Trump? So that, to me, is another point that needs to be put forth, because Trump's saying so he knew that Obama, the Muslim Brotherhood, remember, because he openly admitted he was part of the Muslim Brotherhood, that if you interfere, I'm coming after you on the Hatch Act. But I find that when he was guilty of it himself, or was he guilty of it? And another interesting thing is during the meeting that Hegseth and Trump had with these line officers and flag officers, Trump made it a point to let these officers know that he was 45, 46, and 47.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's what I find is
we got 47 people in Rumble right now.
Nice. What I find interesting is how everything before was different. YouTubers or, truthers, all the names that there are, patriots, so-called, were saying things, and we were part of that, not as extreme as some of them. We got taken down, and here it is all these years later, we get this back, And it's not us saying it anymore. It's the people that are actually involved, like the administration, the FBI, the DOJ, but everybody that is involved are the ones saying the things that we said that we got taken down for, or people said that it wasn't true. Now,
Mhm.
we haven't been 100% right, which is fine. We don't want to be that, because if we know, the enemy knows. But boy, the stuff that I just gave up on, and I'm like, that's ridiculous, coming back now, it's everything is like just planned out. And that whole Israel thing for last freaks me out, because everything on the internet now is about Israel, and all the different shenanigans and different things that different people, and it's not the people, because people get really sensitive when you talk about Israel, but the truth is, it's not the people, it's some of the leaders and the crookedness in the government that we are talking about. And when you go down into the hole of what Israel, some of the government officials have done, the money that they've spent, where they've spent it, it's unbelievable to me. And then I wanted to say, with the Middle East, my friend brought this up. The Saudi prince that Trump is friends with, that he saved his life in Vegas. Remember that? Well,
Mhm.
when he was standing next to him, he was patting him and he said, "I've known this guy for a long time, since he was a kid." And she said, "Well, how did Trump know him since he was a kid?" Well, come to find out, a lot of these elites' sons and daughters go to the same schools. So that's probably what he meant. But the point of this is, this Saudi prince that he's friends with doesn't mess around. He doesn't BS, because there's a story out there, and you can look it up, and somebody betrayed him and did all this stuff with money and drugs and all this kind of stuff, and he ended up getting this guy, beating him up, his people, and making him in nice little pieces, let's say, to make an example of him. So the point of that is, that guy is very sweet and nice seeming, but he's, I think, Trump's guy to go to if anybody in the Middle East mucks around with Trump or what he's trying to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
I
he's
mean, yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't know personally, but history has showed throughout the years that Trump family has been a friend of the House of Saud since Trump was in his early 30s, early 40s. Because he did a lot of contract, his companies did a lot of contract work along with Red Adair, who was the big oil guy.
mm-hmm.
Papa Two
That's
Bear, Potsy, how you guys doing, man? It's been a long time since I've
nice.
seen you guys.
Gosh, that's the name I couldn't remember. Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. I knew if I said that, you'd clarify a little bit. Yeah.
Jeff, I'm going to ask you point blank this question, because
Hmm.
it's been all over the internet. Do you think that Israel owns America? Do you believe that our politicians are bought and paid for by Israel, and that's an issue for us?
I think that the Israeli government, the Israeli intelligence service, over decades, because you have to remember, Israel is the only ally of ours that we have had throughout history who has ever attacked one of our naval vessels and never had any repercussions for doing so when they attacked the USS Liberty. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I believe that Mossad, Sierra, McCall, some of these other agencies with inside of Israel has compromised a lot of our congressional members, whether it's with young people, whether it's with, just regular old cheating on your spouse. And the reason they do that is to get favor inside of Congress and to make sure that the money flows to the Israeli government. Now, I'm not referring to the Israeli people. I'm saying the people in the Knesset, the prime ministers, and Israel has the ability. That's why there's so many members of Congress that are dual citizens with Israel.
Ted Cruz came out and said that's why he got elected and wanted to join Congress is so he could be an advocate for Israel. He didn't say America first or
Correct.
America. He said Israel. So when they're telling you right to the face, and it's not nothing against, and that's the thing, we have to have these conversations. They're truths. And it isn't a bash on the people, but it is a reality of we don't have congressmen that are in Israel or their Israel congressmen or their government saying, well, I got elected and want to get elected to protect, America first. You don't ever hear that.
Correct.
So we have to broaden our view on what really is going on and not be so sensitive. We are so sensitive about certain issues. You bring up Jesus Christ, you bring up Israel, you bring up anything like that, and flame torches are being thrown at you. That's not how you have conversations. For us to get to the bottom and clean everything up, we need to be able to be open and honest about what the heck is really going on. Because if we don't do it now, it's never going to get done.
Yeah, and I think this is what that letter in the alphabet meant by Save Israel for Last. Because I am the way I'm reading information that I read through executive orders, through the House record, is I truly believe there's going to be something that comes out through the Supreme Court dealing with J6 that is going to require a temporary move of government from congressional hands to military hands, and is going to require every member of Congress for the midterms. Everyone's going to have to go up for re-election, no matter whether your term is up or not, and it's going to have to be done through paper ballot and using some type of voter ID. And now this is just my theory, but you are starting to see a lot of senators and congressmen that are saying, "Yeah, we're done." I mean, they're most of those people up there are ancient, anyways. So I think there's going to be a very, very big reform, and the reason I think this is going to happen fairly quickly is because when Trump got on Air Force One to head to Israel, did you guys notice that he was carrying an umbrella and it wasn't raining?
Yeah.
And normally you have a Marine Guard that does all that. I think that, to me, that's a sign that Trump's going to be saying, yeah, the storm's coming.
Jeff, what do you think about Putin and Zelensky now? And what's the what are your thoughts on Trump brokering a deal there and that war ending here very soon?
Look, I still don't understand the whole Russian Ukrainian nonsense because, I
But
mean,
it's been like 3 years, and
correct.
the American people, the people that are watching this show tonight, the ones that are in chat, you, me, Tammy, we've all paid our taxes that has been going overseas. Oh, shit, we're like at what, probably $3-4 billion that we've sent to the Ukraine for this shit. Like, I'm not happy about it. And then we can dive into Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's come out and blasted Trump for sending what is it, Tammy? It's not Venezuela, it's the other one. It's
was it Argentina?
Argentina, like $40 billion to Argentina, when there are people that can't pay their mortgages, they can't pay rent, they can't put gas in their vehicle, and we're sending them our tax dollars for that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Right. Well, here's my thing on Russia, Ukraine. I'm still not buying it. Yes, there is a war going on over there, but just look at what just happened within the last week and a half. Portland, Oregon, they had raids that went on by federal agents to get Antifa members and some drug cartel members. You know what the first thing, and I mean, this is such a brilliant strategy. You know what the first thing they did was they cut the power to that damn building.
Wow.
Now, you mean to tell me that Russia wasn't smart enough
Yeah.
in the initial invasion going into the Ukraine to drop their power grid and to drop their internet? And if you guys paid attention to what Trump said today in front of Zelensky, he told Zelensky Russia should have had you taken over within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Said it
100%.
right to his face.
Yeah, my thing is I don't understand why it hasn't happened yet. Like 3 years of this, what is going on? It just doesn't seem it just seems crazy.
Right.
And for him to even come back, like, is he just playing and spent wasting time or trying to get more money to carry it on? Because he's like a little kid. He comes to the White House, he misbehaves, he gets kicked out, and then he begs to come back, and he comes back. Now, I did see Zelensky talk outside of the White House as he was leaving. And, he was very mellow and pretty much respectful. He was very a lower demeanor, respectful demeanor, talking about his meeting with Trump. I didn't hear anything valid that came out from either one. Trump, he didn't say this was a great conversation, blah, blah, blah. He was very mellow about it. He knows that we need to stop this now. I told him that's enough of bloodletting. Let's stop it. So it's like, did anything really come of it? And is Zelensky just playing a game still? Because he says one thing and does another.
Right. And the sad thing about this is there is a lot of American based YouTubers who have, what's the favorite phrase, grifted off of this situation. I mean, there's one or two channels that when you dig into the financials of that channel, they've made probably $2-3 million off of this. And why here's Chernobyl, okay? The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. That place has been for decades a no-go zone, right?
Yeah.
But yet Ukraine and Russia was just hanging out in that nuclear-fied area.
Like, no problem.
No problem, and no one comes out looking like a damn glowworm.
Right.
So, I mean, something there's the theories of, or the conspiracies of the trafficking. Now, everybody knows Ukraine's big for the money laundering, the Uranium One deal. I believe that's
Yep.
where a lot of Hillary and a lot of Republicans' money was washed, and all this money that we've sent over there, but have we really sent it? This is the concept that I think we're going to have to get used to is, did this actually happen? The media says it's happened. The White House has said it's happened. They also said we pulled out of Afghanistan and we flew a C-150 or a C-52, whatever the hell it was, or C-130, I'm sorry, down the runway of Afghanistan with dudes hanging off it and swinging off the
remember.
engines.
That
Right,
was
and it was a damn balloon,
that was
you know.
ridiculous.
So, I mean, I had a platoon chief tell me, Chief Noble tell me one time, unless you were physically in the room and you seen something happen, it didn't happen. And I think that's what we're going to have to get used to until it either comes from the U.S. military, which I think is going to, which I think this weekend may be a predicate to an EBS. This is where I think the EBS, we've been talking about EBS for 5-6 years. If the president of the United States has to announce that he has invoked the insurrection and certain areas have to go into a martial law status, I think this is where we're going to see the EBS.
And that would make sense. And Trump said himself, that he was asked by a reporter, are you considering the Insurrection Act? And he said, if I have to, I will, and I can. So this isn't conspiracy and hearsay. This came out of the president's mouth.
Well, yeah, and you look at his executive order 3 hours after he came into the White House the second time. He drafted an executive order that went through White House legal counsel and was walked up to a staffer at the U.S. At the SCOTUS of the Supreme Court that authorized him within the first 30 days of his swearing in that he could invoke it, just
Hmm.
to invoke it. And I think it's already been done. And you know what Diane says right here? Yeah, whatever happened to that Brunson case? I think you're going to
Yeah.
start seeing the Brunson case undone, or not undone, revealed here shortly, because the old Kraken popped her head up in DC.
Yeah.
When
Yep.
when all of those JAG attorneys arrived, the 650 that the news media said were going to be used for deportation,
Hmm.
JAG attorneys aren't used for deportation. JAG attorneys only handle UCMJ. And oh wow, Sidney Powell shows up at DC after Hegseth calls all these people back, and she was a military prosecutor at one time. I think we're going to see, and you know, the thing with DC, Trump brings in the National Guard to push brooms. Bullshit. Trump brought in the National Guard into DC to protect people that were going through and cleaning it up, because you can't have show trials with a dirty city.
What do you think about him going into Chicago, possibly Portland, and other places here in the United States, Jeff?
Well, here's what I think's going to happen. I think he's trying to bait these mayors and governors to do it. But I think what's going to happen is, because it just happened yesterday or the day before, where a federal judge stated that Trump could not fire federal employees while the government was shut down. That case went to the U.S. Supreme Court under an emergency hearing, and the Supreme Court passed down a opinion saying no, no, he can. He's the chief executive. Okay, so SCOTUS rendered their decision. Now, the highest court in the land is what? SCOTUS. So, a federal judge yesterday just reissued another injunction on Trump to where he can't fire federal employees. Well, the Supreme Court's already ruled on this. So, now what I think you're going to see, possibly, this is where the intervention of the military may come into, because you are having actors in the judicial branch of government that's not going by the rule of law and the Constitution. They're going based on uh, political dealings, and they may just come in, and this is why the 650 Jags may be sitting there.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on the Biden administration hiding the fact of Biden's health, and now they're looking at going after them for the lies to the American people? He's going through cancer treatment and stuff. I mean, you'd have to be an absolute fool and an idiot those 4 years to look at that man and think that he was okay. We saw him walking around stage trying to shake hands with people that weren't there. We saw him trip and fall downstairs. I mean, there were so many things that indicated there are some major health issues with this guy, and they covered it up. They used the auto pen. Tammy's been talking about that for a long time, the whole auto pen thing. Do you think there's going to be some repercussions with the Biden administration, and they're going to go after some of those people? I mean,
Oh,
it seems like they're
absolutely.
going after everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I had said 2 years ago, I don't believe Joe Biden will ever be prosecuted. Um, I believe that they're just going to write him off as whether cancer, just like Bill Clinton when he was in the hospital. Um, I think they're going to write him off, allow what dignity they have. But now here's the issue that we're going to get into, uh, that will be part of a constitutional crisis, is if the cabinet members, even the vice president, if they knew he had a serious cognitive decline, they have an obligation to the country to do the 25th Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do not do that, there are repercussions for that, and they need to answer for that. And Trump has made the comment several times that in the White House he had Joe Biden's picture replaced with an auto pen. So I had asked somebody over at OEOB that next time you go over to the White House, can you tell me if there's an auto pen there
Take a
instead
picture
of
of it and send it
well,
to you.
yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
know,
What?
unless
And
it's a joke or not. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but Don
go ahead.
Jr. just posted a video walking down the hall, and he showed it, and he goes, and then here's the picture of the auto pen. So it is there, and then the very
Yes,
last picture is Trump's mugshot. So it's
yes.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he has because I had asked the person over at OEOB. He's like, "Well, I can't really film it. I could get away with it, but he goes, we can have somebody else maybe do it." Um, but he did tell me that even in the Oval, he has a picture of his mugshot on the wall, just to remind. And I think that's not for him. I think it is for the people that come into the Oval Office, basically as a reminder to them, you guys tried to bury me and you lost, and you
Mhm.
lost huge.
And we keep losing. And now I'm in control. And this whole left is saying that it's revenge. It is not revenge. It's justice because it doesn't matter whose
Right.
side you're on. It's important. And you know who I can't wait to see get in trouble is Nancy Pelosi because she's still a nasty, nasty woman. The other day, a reporter was
Yes.
following her and asked her about January 6th and why she didn't deploy what they needed and stuff. And she goes, shut up. And she was just really nasty to her. I mean,
Right.
these are the people that we are paying to represent us and help, lead the way for a better America for us. And I couldn't believe how nasty that woman was because he's coming for her too. Justice, not Trump, justice, because there's video in that was recorded in a limo, I think it was, or the car, protective car, with her saying, I'm not doing it and stuff. There's audio and video there of her saying that she
Yeah.
refused it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The conversation that she had with her daughter,
Yeah.
that was done. But I've been trying to get one or two people that I know that is in that orbit to please get a reporter to ask Nancy Pelosi, uh, Madam Speaker, because you would still call her Madam Speaker.
Yeah.
Um,
What's your favorite bourbon or
uh,
scotch?
no,
Oh, okay.
can
I'm just checking.
can you let the American people know where your laptop is at?
Mhm.
And
They
I
do.
was told that was a no-go zone.
No-go zone. Just real quick, I'd take a couple of calls if anybody wants to call in and say hello to Jeff, say hello to us for being back. There's the number 620-317-1776, 317-1017 1017 today. We're back. So anybody want to call in and just say hello to Jeff or say we're glad you're back or we hate that you're back, there's the number. You're welcome to call in. I'll take callers. It's just good to see everybody tonight. We've got a lot of people in here tonight, and a lot of them I haven't seen in 3 years. So it's just good to be back.
It's pretty cool because you didn't catch that 317 that's in the number. That is the time that YouTube sent you the notification.
Yes.
You had your
I did.
So-
It was 10:17 at 3:17
Yep.
1776. You can't
That's
make this shit
freaking
up,
me out.
Jeff. You
It's
can't make this
freaking me
shit
out.
up.
It gives me the willies. Woo!
Oh,
That's
there's
classic.
there's 10 Ridge Runner, man. Haven't seen him for a long time too. And Wayne Sanford, good to see you too.
Diana.
Good to see
Yep.
you.
And Kaiser. Yep. Very cool. So yeah, with Nancy, and then real quick before we get on to something else, did you guys see the video of Mitch McConnell falling in the Capitol
Yes.
Okay, so
That's crazy.
It
So
is.
here we got Jordan B. Good to see you as well. Jordan B's back. This is crazy. Jeff, can you please speak on why do we have people that are anywhere from 80 to 110 years old running this country, representing the American people? Jared Cummings, good to see you too, brother. Haven't seen you for a long time. Good to see you. Why do we I understand that people in their 60s can still be very sharp-witted. I mean, look at Trump. 70s, they could still be sharp-witted. But why do we have these people that have been in here for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 freaking years, and Mitch the Turtle Man McConnell falling down? I mean, this is not representation of the American people. I'm sorry, but that's not who I want representing me. I would highly doubt most people would want anybody who are incognite and tripping and falling. And Joe Biden, same thing years ago. This is just insane. You want to talk about that for just a minute?
Well, I think Mitch McConnell is falling down all the time because I think he now realizes that certain individuals within government found out that his wife Elaine Chao uncle is head of the CCP in China. So that's a major, and it seems really amazing to me how all of these players that are now going to start getting indicted were in the first Trump administration in main cabinet positions, almost like it was by
Yes.
design.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, we got a caller. It might be John Estabrook. I'm not sure, but let me bring him in real quick. Here we go. Click on that. We'll let him come in real quick. Hello, caller. Who are we talking to? Where are you from? It is John Estabrook. Let me unmute. Okay, I think they can hear you now. Go ahead, John.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's powerful to have you guys back. What a great deal. A lot of rewards, huh? Everything is happening at such a rapid pace. I follow the fundamentals of it all, brother. And so much of the work that we did is now being revealed to the American people, and especially when, that's talking about the jab and everything. It's as far as we nailed it. All I can say is
John,
we nailed it.
John, I went back to the old videos, first, second week out doing this stuff, and I was talking about it, and then I met you a few months later, and you and I did a complete series for 18 months on Podbean, because obviously we couldn't say the things that we're saying on YouTube. John, we were ahead of the game. You, me, and Stephen H. We were so far ahead of the curve in the game. We were laying track down for the train to just come cruising on through, because they are now finally admitting to all this stuff. Here's what I want to ask you, John Estabrook, because this, honestly, it pissed me the hell off. I know it pissed Tammy off. We talked about this a couple times. What are your thoughts about them posting and putting out information that Donald Trump took the vaccine, took a booster, took the flu vaccine? What are your thoughts on that? Please elaborate.
It's a lie, because here's the reality. And the fact is Stephen and I, just because we get updates from some of the sites that we had to subscribe to inside the government to get information, and anytime there's a peer-reviewed study release, well, they drop it on us. And all I can tell you is, if you have had the vaccine, God bless you. God help you. If you've taken boosters, you have some serious health issues that, because of the gene therapy, and that's what it is, you're going to be required to take that shit the rest of your life. And then you're going to have to fight the struggle of your body, because you no longer have a human immune system being able to sustain yourself even through a cold. And in the cases, Mike, I have to sit often and pray in sadness for what I see with the numbers of the turbo cancer cases.
Yep.
Cancer inside of children, mothers that aren't going to be able to be pregnant, and to raise a family. All of the things that we knew were coming, it's far worse, Mike, than even we did a great job. We put the stuff out, and so now they're releasing it now, but 2 years after the fact, and these people now are. It's sad. I just lost 2 friends in the last 6 months. One to a breast cancer, and she was a teacher, and God bless her. She did what she thought she had to do to get back into the classroom. And she didn't reach out to me because I provided a lot of affidavits to a lot of people, and they've all come back and they've continually thanked for it. But it's like I told them, you don't thank me because you don't know how many people didn't. And for what I see, but regardless of that, the restoration of the republic is fully underway. All you've got to do is pay attention to the economic fundamentals. When Trump talks about a golden age, a golden era, it's underway. It's happening. I still listen to Andy with Miles Franklin. He sees it. He knows it's happening. So when we go back to an asset-backed currency, and it'll be gold back, it'll be the death of the Fed. Now, the Supreme Court ruling that just came down that said, yes, the executive branch has the power to fire these bureaucrats. Well, guess who's the bureaucrat that thinks he's untouchable and has openly said that Trump can't fire him? Who would that be?
The Federal Reserve champion.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Fed. Bye-bye, Internal Revenue Service. The scam is up. It's over. Trump is leading you, and I'll tell you, it's a masterful plan, and the script is being played out. It wasn't played out on our timeline because of the way that they were able to carry out the insurrection that did take place on January 6th by Miss Pelosi. Because if you go back and remember, there were senators already, congressmen and senators already ready to stand up and get a 10-day delay to go and allow the Trump administration to release all of the information they had about the mail-in ballots, everything that we watched in 2000 Mules. They had that knowledge. They had that information. So the entire staging of J6 by Nancy was to outrage the country into the belief that the far-right people that follow Trump, they're insurrectionists. Man, a handful of people did have handguns in their possession, but they never pulled them, they never had them, and they never went up into the Capitol. They were out listening to the speech. And if you went to D.C. back then, you were a fool if you didn't go healed, because it's a dangerous city. It's not anymore. But go back, you just have to think. Everything was set up so that they robbed the election. And if I do believe that if he'd have been seated and they wouldn't have fixed the election and rigged the election, that we would have seen all this play out 4 years ago. But we had to suffer through the incompetence of a brain-dead president, and they knew it. They all knew it. And I'm telling you who's on the hook for that, Kamala. The vice president has a duty, a sworn duty, to go and she should have signed the 25th Amendment, and that should have been done. And she knows it. She's gone. They're all gone, and they can't run from this. And it's not about political retribution. These people committed acts of treason. When you talk Nancy Pelosi, and so said, and I've got a friend inside, and not inside, he's not an inside guy, but he works for the Federal Bureau. And he is of a full belief and understanding that Pelosi's husband's business and was raided by the Bureau, and documents in there, classified documents, that this son of a bitch supposedly was transferring to China. Now, so treason is the reason for the season, and we're just starting to see the peeling back of the onion when it comes to these these indictments are just getting started, and it is a slow drip. They've got the goods. They've got every, when you give Comey a slap on the wrist, does he look like a guy that won't squeal like a little pig when it comes time to cut a deal? He's a big old boy, but I guarantee you he'll squeal like a pig if he's looking at 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
He's going to cut a deal, huh? John Bolton, he's a sleazebag sumbitch, and what he did with Hillary is all going to come out. We talked about Ukrainian One way back in the Netherlands, brother.
Yep.
We knew that was a corrupt deal. And so all I can say is sit back and enjoy it. We're going to see and be exposed to a lot of stuff, and we really need to, for those of us that are aware of the 17 and the things that we are now witnessing come to light, although it's, 5 years down the path from what we really believed would happen. But how perfect would it be that if this thing, as it progresses in the speed of what's going to happen with the economy, is already, that's on an autopilot flip of the switch. The QFS is operational, up and running, and you can go, and right now, if you want to get you a QFS account, you can certainly do that. They got people that will assist you with that. So with that already knowing that that's up and operational, that's the death of SWIFT, the death of the Federal Reserve System, the entire scam. Now, when you think about human trafficking, when you look at the history from 1917 moving forward, and when they captured D.C. and they formed their corporate entity, and they captured us, when your mother became the informant on your birth certificate, you became a slave lost at sea. Is that human trafficking?
Yep.
I believe it is.
Yep.
If we've all been captured by debt, we've been enslaved by debt, a fake piece of paper that's worthless as shit, that they've stole all our prosperity. Now they have to answer for that. And I'm going to tell you, that crown, the entire NATO, that's all bullshit. They've already had to capitulate to Trump long ago. And let me tell you something. When he took those steps in front of the Queen, he let you know who the frickin' boss was.
Yeah.
And he hasn't backed down. In fact,
Did it in front of the king, too. He did it in front of the king just a little bit ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not taking a back seat to nobody, brother. And here's the thing. I don't know what the Ukraine deal is. I'm not too sure that deal hasn't already been cut. But what's going to be interesting for all of us that have tracked all the corporate entities, BlackRock and Larry Fink, I think those guys are captured, brother. I think that all their wealth and everything that they've robbed from the entire planet is going to be distributed to the planet. And then what would that be? What's the name of that little system they got? NESARA. Well, it's already underway. When you talk about, people still chasing the Iraqi dinar and different currencies and all that, it's already been stated. And Trump is signing the documents. What did he say about what he wanted for tariffs? You remember how he phrased it, and he's very succinct, that it's his favorite word. But he wants them all to be equal, right? Mm-hmm. If we we trade this with you, and you allow us to trade with you, but it's all going to be equal and fair. Well, think about that. So in order to do that, you have to balance the currencies. What are the BRICS nations? What have they done? They've formed sovereign asset-backed wealth. China doesn't have to listen to Trump, but they want to deal with Trump, but they want to have parity. Well, parity in currency, parity in wealth, and in prosperity is for the planet. The whole deal of saving the children, Russia took those children out of Ukraine that were in the Donbass region and carried them into Russia and cared for them, and they would not release them until they could release them securely outside of Ukrainian hands, because they were little Russian-speaking children. People forget all that. There's so much happening that I think we're seeing it. I mean,
Let me ask you this question,
I'm
John
excited.
Estabrook. Let me ask you this question: what are the chances that YouTube gives me the channels back, but they give it back on the 17th? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what a perfect timing, huh, brother? But I'll tell you what, Mike, and I'm sure Jeff will agree. For all of this stuff that was done with the shots, somebody's got to answer for that, man. Somebody's got to hang for it. Because, look, if two podunks sitting in Bell City, Louisiana, could uncover all the stuff that we provided to your listeners, everything that we told them was absolutely the truth and facts. We knew that we were being lied to by the CDC. We knew that some of these nanoparticles were actually going to try to make connections to the human brain, alter the DNA. They refuted and laughed at us and told us we were crazy when we even said that. Oh, no, it doesn't. But now, Stephen and I just got a peer-reviewed study, and not only does it alter the DNA, it only gives you one immune system, that is the spike protein. That's a fact. That's a fact now.
Damn it.
We were telling people that 2 years ago.
Yep.
Where was our government? I don't care if Trump was in power. If he was still the commander-in-chief and allowed the mandate, my brother sat and wept because he was the command sergeant major somewhere over in Europe that had to force inject his troops. And the injection they received was an mRNA. But now, can I tell you that the Moderna vaccine that he had them all injected with contained everything that we knew, the grafting? I don't know that. They could have just sent vials of placebo. We have no clue. And I told him, because while he's sitting crying about it, I said, hey, Harry, you performed, took an oath. You lived up to your oath. You did what you were told to do by the commander-in-chief. And if that commander-in-chief was Donald J. Trump, he got to answer for that, brother. But I don't see, and they're not tracking what we want them to track. They won't even, they laugh at me. My congressman people hang up on me now. I want them to start documenting any illness and whether a person just a check mark when you enter the hospital or you enter any facility to have testing, that you have to check a box, vaxxed or un. And if you're okay, so then we can say, oh man, it's greatly impacted our troops, but I don't see that because they're not recording it. I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Because my brother was so impacted. I mean, it's eating on that son of a bitch's brain, man.
Man.
I was forced to give this because I send him stuff, and I probably should. And don't think that I don't have to answer. I've got people inside my community that thank me. And then I got people inside my community that when they see me, I'm sure that I don't know what their feelings are, but we're no longer friends, because
John, I think we should do a separate show where we can talk about what we put out for that 18 months, and maybe Steve would want to join us too. But I think that deserves. Yeah. I think it deserves its own 90-minute show where we can talk about the numbers and all the stuff. And if you want to do that, we can put it together and we can make that happen.
Yeah, well, Brother Stephen is doing some great work right now, bro. And I'll tell you, he's such a man of God. He's starting he has a farm, but now he's going. He's Stephen. He's going to take it. He's building chunapas, and that's inside of crawfish fields. Hey, he's just giving food away to people. He grows vegetables, and he's just giving it away because we live in a rural community that is struggling. And to see what he does and his heart and caring for the people, because he's just like me. We look at each other and say it's worse than we thought, brother, because now we're seeing people inside our community affected. And so he's doing great stuff, but I'll ask him. I'm sure he'd love to.
All right.
But all I can tell you, Mike, is when we get him on, we just got to let him go.
Yep. No problem.
Because he's learned so much more, man. It blows my mind.
Well, let me. I'll reach out to you this weekend, and we'll see if we can't put a date together for a show, and we'll post that to everybody. Now that we got the big channel up and running, I appreciate
Well, I'm
the phone
gonna tell
call.
you.
I do.
I appreciate you guys, and I really appreciate Jeff B. Because I tell you what, he's such a great source, you know, and we've all been laughed at and poo-pooed for all over years. You know? But the bottom line is that we stood strong with what we believed was taking place, and now we're watching it come to fruition. And the restoration of the republic is our desire, and as a patriot, I can't wait.
All right. Well, thanks for the call, brother. Love you. And
Love you guys.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you this weekend.
Love you, Tim.
Yep.
All right. That was.
I don't want to see
that was our brother John Estabrooks. Let me mute this over here so we don't have all the back feed. There we go. I muted it, so we should be good now.
Good.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, love you, John. I just can't talk when there's a caller because it gets feedback. But I saved a little comment here, Mr. LW, from Deborah Shimko. She said, Mike, remember the promise you made about eating crow? Well, are you ready to? And it's not going to be KFC. I don't think he's there yet, Deborah, but he's pretty darn close where he's smelling the chicken right now.
Hey, that's what it takes. I will honor my word for sure.
Well, you know, I'm going to touch on two things that John stated. Number one, with the 10 days during, J6, right? That's not a recommendation. That is in the Constitution, that if one member, they put it to a vote and, Pence blocked it. So now I know I've shared the audio tape where James Clapper rolled on Mike Pence to you guys. I think that's how they're going to take Pence down through this opinion that's going to come down through the Supreme Court. And I think it's going to be prior to the midterms that Pence had a legal obligation per the Constitution to revisit and to investigate the election, and he chose not to do it because he knew they had the goods on him, and he played ball. The second thing that, John had touched on with QFS, I am a firm believer that when the COVID distribution payments started, that was the opening of QFS because they had to make sure that the people that they had on the rolls, were legitimate people, legitimate bank accounts, that's going to lead to, if you believe what Trump says, that next month, tax-paying American citizens are supposed to receive a check from Treasury on the income from tariffs.
Yep.
And, he is quoted possibly up to $2,000 per individual. And so I think that's possibly, kickstarting what we're going to see. And John made a good point about when Trump talked about, the disease of 2019, that he did say somebody's going to have to pay for this. Well, somebody already did pay for this. And that would be the Chinese government, because, I've shared with you guys in numerous channels where the country was filed bankrupt. It was heard by a bankruptcy judge in Tallahassee. The corporation in the United States was dissolved. And along with that documentation was the bank wire transfer from HSBC Hong Kong to the Department of Treasury in the tune of $32 trillion paid for by the Fang family, which is the richest family in the world. And I think that's what the penance was for, whether it was intentional, non-intentional, sloppy. I think that at the time, President Trump told the Communist Party. Look, you either pay up and we're going to hold this money in a trust so we can pay our citizens who've been affected by this over due time, or we're going to remove you from the map.
$32 trillion. I'd like it if they just wipe
Wow.
the debt clean.
Well, I think that's what they've done, because if you look how the American people, either one, they don't care, or they're naive as hell, or they're dumb as hell. How can the American populace with a 30-some trillion dollar debt honestly sit back and look at these idiots that are protesting? Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to protest. I served this country. I got hurt for this country, for their right to do that. Even though I don't agree with what they are saying, I still agree with their right to do it as long as they do it peacefully.
Correct.
But how do these people believe that this country should be an open cesspool? I mean, we're the greatest experiment ever in the history of the world. And, I thought what they were going to honestly do to piss the American people off was Congress was going to start floating around on the House floor that they wanted to take 10 or 15% of every Social Security recipient's money to get health care, housing, and food benefits for illegals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they backed off on that because whoever is doing this magnificent operation that we're starting to see unfold before our eyes, I think they were worried about old grandma and grandpa coming out with fucking pitchforks, because you want to piss off the baby boomers and them, tell them you're taking their Social Security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So that's an interesting concept, that everything's paid for, taken care of, and the tariffs coming in and all, because he keeps talking about the billions and trillions and all this money coming in all the time. It's
Right.
an incredible amounts of money. And don't forget what happened with all the stuff that Doge found. Those
Correct.
programs were shut down. There's money from that as well. Doge isn't talked about anymore.
No, and Trump come out and said the day before yesterday that because the Democrats were pissed off that Trump stated that he was going to make sure the military was paid for by funds that had been brought in through tariffs. The Democrats had a meltdown and they stepped right into a damn trap. There is not probably maybe 5% of the American citizens that wouldn't agree with this. But the Democrats stepped in it because the last thing that this country wants to see is military members not get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Not, and especially at a time like this. But remember, the Democrats also kept government shut down against America, but wants money for people that aren't American citizens.
Correct.
And also doing this All Kings March tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yes.
They said they're intentionally they're not going to negotiate, do anything, government staying down till this march is over with, trying to incite all this craziness. And I don't even know how that's legal. How can they hold the American people and the monies and negotiations hostage so they can have a protest? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and I think a lot of this is to show, look, if, my mother 4 years ago, when I was trying to explain to her how all this was going to happen, and she was probably 10 seconds away from committing me, she now, and she don't like Trump, and it's not because of his politics. Her generation, they don't like the way he talks, right? But she is now coming around and saying, you might be right on some of this stuff. And, when I showed her the clip of Trump dropping the F-bomb, I said, when I heard this, I said, it was like you swearing. I was like, what the heck just happened? And her response to me was like, well, I think maybe it's time that he does get blunt. And
Wow.
I was like, who slipped you a Mickey? Because you were all, and now she's starting to see it, because what really did it in for her was when Ocasio-Cortez come out and said, well, I think we need to have free health care for all these illegals. And
Mm-hmm.
even though my mom, she pays her own health care and she's on Medicare and all that she was like, well, where in the hell's my free health care? I said, no, you don't count.
Yep.
And
There you go.
she was like hell I don't. She goes, I paid, you know, 65 years into all of this. And I said, now that don't matter. We got to make sure we keep people that shouldn't be here in good health.
Yep.
It's
So a
crazy.
lot of people are starting to see the writing on the wall. And I had said years ago, with Shane, that I said, Shane, there's going to become a time to where there's going to be a lot of people that were naysayers of this that are going to disappear. All the retractors, all the people that we're calling everybody grifters and conspiracy theorists and outright liars. They're going to disappear because they're not going to be able to admit to themselves that they possibly were duped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. All I know is like the more you know, the less you know.
Right.
I was telling LW, you know what? I've become skeptical because I was
Yes.
like, oh yeah, everything's great and it's gonna be great and all optimistic and stuff. And lately I've been saying I'm a skeptic anymore and I don't like it. But you have to be because you hear, okay, this stuff's been taken care of and him taking the shots was a lie from John, and then you see good things happen with the military out there getting the bad people off the streets, and it is like a mind draining day
Correct.
each and every day. It's crazy. I feel cuckoo a lot.
Well,
A
yeah,
lot
and
more
I
than
mean,
usual.
and you get up every morning and you look to see what shoe dropped overnight.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be, like I said, Trump only has 3.5 years, and
Yes.
when he first come into office, the second time, I told people he's got about 6 months. If people
Past
that
6 months, Jeff.
correct, yeah, but now you're starting to see it.
Yep.
Yep.
You're starting to see some forward progression,
Mm-hmm.
and he's blatant about shit now. Like I said, with the umbrella. I mean, to me, when I look at that and I seen that umbrella and it wasn't even raining, I'm like, boy, he's signaling that the storm's about ready to hit.
Yeah, and as usual, Dan Scavino's posting some real doozies out there too, and him making him basically in control of all the hiring or the majority of hiring and firing is incredible. And
Right?
kudos to that because he's been his loyal guy from the get-go, from the being his golf caddy, and I just admire that so much. But I will have to say, I did get a little skeptical about his engagement, and I sent it to Mike, and I'm like, he's so quiet about his personal life, and there he is posed in the White House lawn and getting married and posing with her and all that, and it was beautiful. And I said, I just want to enjoy the moment, but I can't enjoy it because he's never like that. He's never really shown her a lot, and he's like, settle down, it's all right. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like I overthink everything now. It's
Right.
terrible.
Well, that's like, one of my buddies that's in a cabinet level position on the law enforcement side of the house. When I'll text him something to get clarification or ask him if I'm going up the right tree, mostly his responses now are, this is all by design. 2 years
Mhm.
ago, he'd have never said that, and now I get, the interaction between him and Comey when I believe I told Mike that, he walked into Comey's office and basically said, well, I'm heading to the IG and to Congress. And he blew the whistle on some of this shit. And once he did that, they were quick to get him out of the bureau because they knew there was going to be a shit storm coming.
It's crazy.
Oh
Yep.
shit! Hey, before I announce we're rolling into final thought, is there anything that either one of you two would like to cover that we haven't discussed tonight before we roll into final thought?
Oh no, I think we got a lot of good content for some more shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're going to be a lot more often than what we have been. This is just I can't even believe on the 17th of this month that we get this channel back. We just had 317 people in here live. You just can't make this stuff up. I'm so grateful that Tammy and you both were able to join me tonight. I'm grateful for the wonderful mods that we have there in chat. You guys, before you get out of here tonight, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to us, share us out, jump over on Facebook. The mods have put the link there in the chat, and help us grow Facebook, because that's a place where Tammy puts in a lot of information and a lot of stuff going on. But it's just been a wonderful evening. All these wonderful people that we haven't seen in years coming in tonight. So great to see you guys, and thanks for joining us. But we're going to roll into final thought. And like Jeff said, lots of material, have lots more shows. So if you haven't subscribed to us, make sure you do. It's been 3 years and people got notifications tonight, which is good. And it's kind of weird that some people don't get the notifications. Sharon Whitmore, good to see you back as well. Lots and lots of new people popping in here that we haven't seen for a long time. So I'm gonna let Jeff B go first for final thought, so that if he has to jam out of here and go somewhere else, he can, and then we'll wrap it up. Tammy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think this weekend, if you're going to be out and about, make sure you keep your head on a swivel. Not just because of the No Kings, but I do believe that there's going to be some type of event shortly that is possibly could make the 9/11 look like a walk in the park. And you have to remember, during the Biden administration, the gentleman that came across the border in the Republic, or a reporter asked him, "Where are you coming from?" Meaning what country, and he told her, "You don't need to know that, but you'll know who I am soon."
I
And he
remember
was
that.
Jeez.
So I think with the operation at the United Nations, when the Secret Service busted up that telecommunication data center issue, I think we possibly could be looking at something before the winter.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, guys. Hey, it was fun.
It was, Jeff.
And just keep that beard meticulous,
And tamed.
because that
Yeah.
thing is majestic.
Look at it's like its own entity. I love it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys. Have a good evening.
Bye,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Thanks.
All right, Tammy, Jeff B, the one and only.
Yeah.
What a cool night to come back on the 17th of October. My birthday's rolling around here at the end of the month. I'm going to be 51 years old, which is crazy. When I was watching the videos today, I started when I was 46 years old. So it's been a few years since we started this whole thing off, and it was just a man on a laptop, and then a few people just kind of jumping on board, and now look at us today. Yeah, we've slowed down quite a bit, but we've never left. Cynthia, it's good to see you back as well. It's just life's busy, and we're wiser than we were 5 years ago, Tammy.
That's the thing. Sometimes, you take little breaks, or you take little pauses. You re-engage in life. You and I both have had shifts personally and stuff like that, different things going on, and it is wonderful to be back. You and I coming back and just going back at this just feels like home again with this community. Getting the channel back is something we never thought.
Never.
we gave up Liberty Warrior Nation. We had different names for different shows we were going to do, and all of a sudden this comes back, and you and I were like, we couldn't believe it. Like, I was gum-smacked and shocked, and to see all these beautiful, wonderful people that were still hanging on, still part of it, has been a blessing and amazing and encouraging. And I think it was a great conversation in chat and on the air with the three of us. And it's fuel for the soul. We really need to be able to have these conversations. I say that, I've always said that, and not be so sensitive and realize we don't all have all the answers, but together we are well more informed and unified. We have much more power and strength together and having conversations than just thinking we know it all. And I just love the feeling of tonight.
Listen, when LW first started, it was just a man in a laptop, a baby face, had no clue what the hell I was doing, but I kept after it, and I believed in myself, and I believed in what we were doing, and just really put myself out there. And today, this beard is not CGI. It's not AI. This is a real freaking beard that I've been growing since January of last year. I'm going to continue to grow it, and more things are yet to come. There's going to be a gray beard mafia, and you're going to see that, and it's going to be a lot of us, blue collar, red blooded Americans, and we're going to kick ass, and we're going to take names, and we're not fucking around no more. So it's just been a wonderful night, and I'm glad to see all of you guys back in here. Like I said, if you're just finding us again, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Follow us on Facebook. The link is there in the chat, and we're just going to get back to things. So Tammy and I got a lot to discuss because this was thrust upon us at about 7 a.m. my time this morning with an email. And I couldn't even believe what I was reading, and I had to call Tammy, and she goes, "We got a lot to talk about." And I said, "Yeah, we do." So expect to see more of us more frequently, and thank you to all the wonderful mods tonight and the wonderful people in here. Tammy, I think it's just time to sign off.
Yep. Adios for the first time from Liberty Warrior Nation. Here we are 3 years later on the 17th. So adios, amigos.
All right. Peace.
Bye.